In this video, I'm going to be walking you through the exact system that Brez Scales used to make over $300,000 every single month with his coaching business. And the goal of this video is that you get to understand the psychology behind what he does, and which, of course, kind of like let you know why he does what he does. And you get to see how we can equally implement this in your own business, because it's not just about breaking this down, it's also about what impact it could make in your own business as you taking your time to watch this video. And I promise you, it's going to be worth every inch of your time, right? I'm going to keep it as simple and straight to the point, right? And of course, at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving my own verdict on what I think about the funnel and what you can actually do in your own funnel, regardless of the niche with which you're selling coaching for. So that being said, in this video, I'm going to be walking you through not just how we get traffic, but how we nurture and educate them, and how we collect this cash from them within the sales team setup and all of the other cool stuff that allow him maximize the traffic that he's getting. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first thing first, I'm going to be talking about what he sells and why it works for him. Because I mean, you too could be selling something similar, but you may not get the kind of results he's getting for a particular reason. So listen, he sells SMMA for e-commerce brand. Basically, if you know what that is, that's like a marketing agency that help people run ads for e-commerce brands. So that is what he does personally. I mean, he used to own an e-commerce brand, and of course, the whole normal story of the brand was not. He had an agency running ads for the brand, but they were not doing a good job. He had to take over. That's how he learned the skill. And now he had to run for his own business by himself. Now he's helping other people run ads. So he had to name that mechanism. Now he's teaching people how to do the side of running ads for e-commerce brands. And so now with what he's selling, he didn't just say, I'm going to be selling out to run a marketing agency that run ads for e-commerce brand, or I run ads for e-commerce brand. He gave it a name. And that is the key thing here about why what he's selling works. Instead of saying this, instead of saying this, which would make people categorize him as like others and judge him. In case you say I've I've had a bad experience with other e-commerce brand, other agencies that run ads, and he's telling me you run ads for that agencies. I'm going to categorize him as part of the people that has done me bad before. Maybe if you sell fitness coaching and someone is telling you, I once had a fitness coach and the person did not do me good, and you then tell me you're equally selling this same thing that person is selling, you call it the same name, say weight loss program. I'm going to subconsciously categorize you like the same thing, you guys are doing the same thing. But when you give it a unique mechanism, just like what dropshipping guys are doing, let's say there are some items that you can actually walk into a store and buy, but if you land on the website of a brand selling it, you would not recognize that that thing is the same thing that you could actually walk into the store and buy. You see that as something unique because it has been packaged, has been wrapped with something unique, and that is what the idea of a unique mechanism for an info product means. Instead of telling people you sell what other people are selling, you give it a unique name. So when somebody sees it or reads about it and backed up with the proof of result that you have that shows that this particular mechanism works, there's no way they don't trust you, right? And they can't even picture you as something they've seen before or something they've experienced before. All they have to see is that the result you're giving the people looks like the dream place they want to find themselves, and boom, they trust you. That being said, he called it freelance brand scaling, which is just genius actually. And now if you go on YouTube and search, it's now popularized. He was one of those people that I think he pushed it actually. I don't think I've heard of anything like this prior to knowing about Brez Scales. So yeah, do something similar for your business. If you need help getting this done, just shoot me a DM on Instagram with the first link in the description, and I'll be happy to help you suggest an idea or give you a prompt on ChatGPT that can help you actually generate an amazing unique mechanism. So that being said, now let's get into how he gets traffic and all of the other cool stuff. He gets traffic from his TikTok, his Instagram. This is where he kind of like gets people to actually know about him, and he brings them in with the lifestyle content, like you can see here. Lifestyle content. He also rants about life, gives life advice, talks about whatever it is he's going through at the moment. And these are the things that get people in, and they never get tired of listening to him talk, right? Because it's a new experience every day he's sharing with them. You can see he has about 500k followers. And if you're one of those that think TikTok does not have people, no, they do actually, because let me not go into details, but TikTok actually has people that can actually afford your service. So that being said, let's move on from. So once he gets this traffic into his ecosystem with TikTok, you can see there's a link here, which and what he's advertising to, what he's pushing to them here is his free course because he knows that these guys are not. They now know him based off the lifestyle they're seeing, but they don't know enough to like trust him yet based off the kind of content they're consuming. So he's pushing the free funnel content, free course content, free course funnel. Sorry, here. I'm just don't forget this. I'm going to bring this back again in a couple minutes when I get to how you nurture those leads. Don't forget what he's pushing on his TikTok, and he's pushing the same thing on his Instagram because they are coming via lifestyle. Don't forget, we're going to talk about this in a couple of minutes when I get to the other section, right? And why this is a very genius strategy. But then when he gets to YouTube, which is where he builds trust, he's not pushing just, in fact, I don't think look at here. He's not pushing just that. Look at what he's pushing. Learn how to start freelance brand scaling for free. Now he's pushing two things here. He's pushing two funnels, both the free course and his straight up VSL funnel. Because there are people that actually would get coming via a viral post, but he's also sharing middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content on his YouTube. So those are the ones that are actually converting people. So he didn't just push just the free course funnel here. He also pushed the straight up VSL to book a call funnel because many of the people that are on YouTube already many of the people on YouTube are already know, like, and trust him because they've consumed loads of his content. As you can see, he shares long form content, and long form content is the best way to actually build trust because people get to spend loads of time. Remember, if you just imagine you watch a movie and you see a particular actor over and over and over again, automatically you start feeling some way for the actor. When the actor dies in the movie, you start, I mean, when you don't know, the storyline now makes you want to care about the person. That's just how it works. When you consume 83 minutes, 29 minutes, 39 minutes, and all of the other long form content, there is no way you don't start feeling something for him like, oh, this guy is rich, wow, this is really cool. And of course, he has now separated the middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content to a different YouTube channel where it is actually cooking for him. And of course, he still has some middle of funnel content here, but let me explain what this middle of funnel, top and bottom of funnel content thingy means. So first of all, what is we have three kinds of content. There is the top of funnel, there's the middle of funnel, don't mind this, and there's the bottom of funnel. So top of funnel are contents that is more like closest to the general kind of content that brings people in, like the lifestyle. When you post a video of you buying a car, there's no niche with which that is attached to, unless maybe you sell cars, but there's no niche with which that is attached to. It's a lifestyle thingy. It brings more eyeballs to you. The middle of funnel content, what it does is it gets people to know about you because you're talking about what you do, talking about how you changed your life and all of the other cool stuff. What if it's e-commerce thing, you're talking about e-commerce, talking about why is the best thing to do right now. That's middle of funnel content because people don't just know you now, they are now listening to what you do. What bottom of funnel content is the key one that helps you build trust. When they consume this, let me change the color. When they just a second, when they consume this, and they consume this, they came in via top of funnel content. They watched a lot of that. They see what you do. Now they're now watching the bottom of funnel content, which is practically results you're getting from people or in-depth explanation of what you do. More like you're now showing like how to run ads. You're showing your ads dashboard. That is bottom of funnel content. That is a content that people see to understand that you know your stuff and you can actually help them. So that's being said, let me not spend much time on YouTube, but let me also shine more light on this micro niche YouTube that he's created here. So if you're a coach and whatever thing you do, even if you have a big YouTube channel, create a micro niche channel where you go in depth on the technicalities of getting results in your space and just give out free value, right? And it's one of the best ways to actually sell high ticket offers. Make sure you're selling high ticket though. Don't do this for me to get, it's a waste of time. All right. because this will get the people that are actually your target audience to your space, and all they just see is value, 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 and proof that you know your stuff. So you're going to be sharing both your case studies here. You're going to be sharing equally some dashboards on how things actually work, like on getting your hands dirty, basically. Then for his call to action, what he did is all of his YouTube channel has, look at this, has this. See, he also has his agency as well here. But all of his free fun, all of his content, because it's more like when he talks about what he does and say to learn this for free, watch this, right? And uh yeah, so then, oh yeah, so it's pushing it. So this is the first one, that is the free course funnel. Yeah. Then this is the one-on-one coaching, shut up, which I'm going to be talking about in a minute. So that being said, that's how he gets content. Then for his X account, he doesn't really do much here, just rant, talk about life. He's not he's pushing you to YouTube because, I mean, X is not a place where he gets traffic for people that want to buy his course, right? He's just flexed on X and, just talk plenty actually. Then another thing that I need to also point out is the second Instagram um, account he has. This basically just talks about lifestyle thingy and some advice that would help people when they get successful and all of the other cool stuff. Then he's also he's pushing them to the main account. So there's a link tree account here that kind of like help you. What's the word? He kind of like help. But like he gives you all the link basically. So yeah, let me yeah, so this is basically it, right, for traffic. So when he gets the traffic, and of course you click either of these links, either the free course link or the one-on-one direct link, it brings you. Oh, I didn't think about that thing that he's also doing, which is also cool. He goes on podcasts, which he gets. You know what podcast does now? He gets you leverage other people's audience to yourself, and they kind of like know more about you. Then they come into your ecosystem. They go through your funnel. They trust you, and they actually buy from you. So, like a circle of getting attention in every place possible. And of course, he also clip this as well and post on the short form content. He clip both this one because he got clippers that are clipping both the clips, the interviews, and the long form YouTube videos, and of course post them on Instagram and TikTok, because on this other short form platform, on this other platform. And of course, he also make videos too. Once in a while, he can just pick up his phone and just talk and post. He gets loads of views. So that being said, now we know how he gets traffic. Let's now go to how he nurtures the traffic. Remember what I said about TikTok? I think I need to use my other. Remember what I said about TikTok and Instagram? Now for his TikTok and Instagram. So yeah, basically, before I even get into that, right? This whole process is how you get people to know, like, and trust him, because people need to know, like, and trust you, and before they even get the idea of showing up for the call that they just booked with you. So all of the things he does in this particular section is these are things he needs to do. So, but the first phase which he needs to take care of for people to actually show up for the call that they are booking. More like he nurtures them, they get to know more about him, know about what he does, and see the people he's getting results for, and see enough details that would at least tell them to give them the what's the word? The frame of mind with which they would know they have to show for the call, because they've seen enough of, maybe not enough, they've seen a lot about him and his business that gets them to trust him enough to want to show for the call. I think that makes sense. All right. So for his TikTok and Instagram, this is what he pushes. The free course funnel, because when you watch the free course, you can now see the apply for coaching. It's a VSL kind of thing. You watch it, he kind of like sees a couple of things there that gets you to like know that, yeah, this is free, but there's a much more better thing on the other side of the world, of his world, right? So of course, then you get to apply. But let me give like a rundown of this particular landing page. It's simple. See the headline here, the exact freelance brand scaling blueprint. Now look at this freelance brand scaling thing he said here. If you're ever going to be using this, make sure that every single content that goes from you online, you're not saying the exact thing of what you do. You're always talking about the mechanism, because you don't want to confuse people. They know you for freelance brand scaling, and now you're talking about SMMA. So because the moment you start mentioning confusing them, they won't buy and they start losing trust for what you actually do because they start that thing you were avoiding of them putting you in the same box as those other failures you've had. You now start putting you in that box, right? So make sure every of your area you're always mentioning this. Uh, so of course you said there's that freelance masculine blueprint you can use to get brands to pay you thousands of every month to run their ads. Now you understand it's very simple and straight to the point. And of course the VSL, then of course testimonials, 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 testimonials. As simple as this. So you just fill up testimonials because you're going to apply to work with him. And of course, boom, this is the thank you page. And all he does here is give you more information about, not necessarily more information, more like give you your next steps. Thank you for booking a call. These are the things you have to do next. Make sure you show up for the call. Don't miss your call and all the other things. Right? If you need a script for this, also shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll be happy to help as well. Then, of course, the next thing he does is he answers all the questions, at least the top questions that people ask during the sales call. So people are aware of them before they show up for the sales call. And even if they're going to be on that sales call, it's more about just closing, or you get to ask follow-up question on what they've understood from this. And of course, next thing he blasts you with testimonials. That way, it handles the objections even before you even come into the space, you don't come into the call. And also from YouTube as well. He gets now one of the things he does is, of course, he gets but he has 2 links there. There's the side of the free course thingy that also bring you to the part where you applied. Then there's also the straight up call booking. Remember the one-on-one that I showed you guys earlier. So that is also coming here. That way, for those that are ready to apply immediately, they just come in. But either way, all of you are still going to come into the same part and go on to apply and see the same page at the end of the day. But so what he does is he gave based off the kind of audience he has in a particular platform, he gave them different pages to kind of like speak their language. Do you understand? Like, that is the genius part of this. He speaks the language of every single person, even though they are still going to go through similar pipeline and get up to applying and working with him. At the early phase of every platform, he spoke their language. Look over YouTube now. He said, the exact strategy I used to go from a fat Fortnite kid to making over 6 figures per month with freelance brand scaling, because of what the kind of content he posts on YouTube. You must have known what freelance brand scaling is. He said the exact strategy, the same thing he repeated here. Then here for the direct booking a call thing, he said, learn the exact same framework I used to go from a complete beginner to making over 6 figures per month as a freelance brand scaler. This is for YouTube. Then for Instagram, look at what he said here. I hired from a typical college bro. So on YouTube, on Instagram and TikTok, because these people are the audience. He said, look at language here. Typical college bro. Do you get what is happening here? This guy is smart as hell. Or I'll say the people running this whole shit for him they are smart actually. These are things you actually want to take notes of, right? These details actually matter, because if you're not speaking the language of those that actually buy from you at that particular platform, then you'll be losing them. So that being said, before I go on to talking about how the setup for the sales calls work, because as much as they booked the call, the next thing they'll get emails and lots of reminders, and the particular salesperson that would handle the particular closer and I don't think they use dialer here, but I think they use dialer, yeah. The closer, the dialer, and the setter would be all on your case, trying to get you to make sure you don't miss the call. They'll send you loads of testimonials, YouTube, sales assets that would get you to show up. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But before I even get into talking about that, I believe if you're watching this, right, you've gotten to this point, you probably thought about this being something that could actually work for your coaching business, right? But you don't know where to start. I've got you, right? I help coaches doing 5 to 10K per month, or anyone with an active audience, package, position, and scale their offer to 20 to 50K a month, and even more, right? And all done for you. So if you want to see how that could look like for you, click the first link below and DM me the word blueprint on Instagram, and I'll break this down for you. That's how it look like for you for free, and you will live with real clarity based off my experience, right? And even if you don't work together, you leave the chat we're going to have with a guide on how this can look like for your business. So that being said, just shoot me a DM and we can chat and you see how this can look like for you. So finally, it's how you, of course, how you convert this lead, how you collect the money from them, because you can do all this work. If you don't have a dialing sales team, you leave money on the table, and that's not really the best thing because you're actually paying people to work for you. So I'm not going to go into depth with this because this could actually change based off the traffic, the volume of traffic you're getting. Of course, it's got the setters, the closers, and of course dialers. The dialers are the people that call the phone number to tell you, oh, you book a call, hope you're showing up, that kind of thing. Then the setters are the ones that are trying to make sure you show up for the call via email, via SMS. Then the closers are the ones that would welcome you on the call and do the thing. But the goal is that they're going to send you as much materials. You can see what is happening here. You want to get immediately, they want to get in 4 hours before, they want to get 1 hour, they want to get 5 minutes before the call. Then for automated one, they want to get immediately 24 hours, 6 hours, 1 hour, 5 minutes. Right. The goal of all of this is to make sure you show up for the call to increase their show up rates, because once you show up, there's a high chance of them closing you. Right. And of course, ultimately they have an amazing tracking sheet, because I mean you cannot scale what you cannot track effectively. So, and the whole idea is for them to understand the close rate, their show rate, their cash collected, payment collected and completed, and those they have to follow up, and all of the other details, those that broke up the payment, so that they know what's happening and what they can optimize for better results in their business. So, that being said, what do I think about this funnel, right? I think it's a great funnel and the designs are professional. The copy spoke directly to the people they are selling to. Less words, more of showing than talking, right? And it's amazing, right? And of course, the unique mechanism theme is something you can actually implement in your own business, because trust me, it works. It works. And the trust level is low now in the business, in the market space, and it's going to really hurt you if you are not able to, because separate yourself. Right? I made another video talking about unique mechanism, so you can check that out. Like the previous last video I posted. And of course, I think I would, if I was going to advise him, I'll ask him to go heavy on LinkedIn and emails. I don't think they are heavy on that, but this platform really help them increase their profits. And yeah, if you maximize other platforms, try LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really amazing for coaching, for coaches. So yeah, I know this works. This is not just out of you. I know this works because I've built simple systems that have helped coaches scale faster. But you already know this takes deep research and understanding your market and ICP, as well as some testing to get this right for your business. So if you rather skip all the guesswork and get a clear plan on how to scale your business, click the first link in below and DM me the word blueprint, this link here, right? And even if we don't work together, we'll chat on Instagram, of course, to see how I can help. If we don't work together, you leave with way more clarity than you had before you hit this play button on this video. So keep learning and keep growing. See you on the next one. Yeah, don't forget to hit me on Instagram and I'll be happy to help. Have a good one. Cheers.